because they just kind of swept us in here and never paid us any kind of mind after that.
Okay, that's how some homeless people feel who have been staying at the city-run site for RVs in Northeast Portland. The site is called the Sunderland RV Safe Park. It's run by the Salvation Army and opened about 2 years ago. Think Safe Rest Village, but instead of tiny homes, parking spots for RVs and trailers. The site can hold up to 55 vehicles. It was the first of its kind in Portland when it opened in 2023. Now here's where things have gotten heated in recent months. The land is owned by the city of Portland. The Bureau of Transportation once used it for storage, but they needed the land back for their equipment. So in December, the city stopped accepting new people into the site and talked about closing it completely. It was then left up to the new city council to decide whether they would fund it in this year's budget. It would have cost $2 million to keep it going. Councilors voted against that, but allocated $650,000 to keep it open through September 30th, meaning those staying there have been told they have until the end of next month to leave.
At first it was great. The staff were wonderful. They genuinely seemed to care for us and helping us out. And then these last couple months it just took a nosedive.
That's Michelle. She's a full-time online college student. She bought her RV with student loan money and has been staying at the Northeast Portland site since it opened.
Oh, I made the president's list this year for academics, or this quarter. I'm a 3.9 GPA for the last year. I can't focus on my schoolwork because I've got that in the back of my mind. It's like a big cloud looming over you.
Michelle tells me not only does she have to leave, but it's not guaranteed she'll be able to keep her trailer.
They have all these new guidelines for us being able to keep our houses, our trailers, and most of us don't fit those guidelines, so they're not going to let us leave with our trailers.
One of those guidelines, she says, is having insurance, something she tells me she can't afford.
It was really unfair, and it made us feel kind of like tricked, because when we came in here, we were never told we were risk losing our place. We were told we would get help getting a real place. I have a case manager in there, but there's just like no offers. No, like I put in applications for like the Home Forward, which is Section 8 and all that, and it's just I just got approved to be on the wait list to get on the wait list for Section 8 in Tigard, or not Tigard, but Washington County, which I don't even know where that is.
As for all the vehicles, I'm told the city will not tow any of them to the street. Instead, they'll tow them to a city storage lot. People can pick them up there as long as they follow a list of property recovery rules. So instead, many have left the site and parked their RVs right across the street. This woman named Misty didn't want to show her face on camera, but I caught up with her as she was moving out of the site today to move in with her boyfriend right across the street.
A lot of people have the misconception that we're all out here because of drugs or, things like that, and that's not really the case at all. I know for us, we lost both of our parents, and so to have that support system, we kind of felt like this was going to be that, and that's not been the case at all.
Now, Misty was offered a tiny home, and here's what she tells me happened with that.
I actually was offered a tiny home, and my car broke down on my way to the intake process in the middle of the road. And it was there for 4 hours. I walked up to the meeting with the tiny home. I got there at 3:26, was supposed to be there at 3 o'clock. When the car broke down, it was a little after 2:30, so I'd given myself enough cushion. I walked in high heels and a skirt because I dressed up for the occasion, all the way from 92nd and Foster up to Reedway on 122nd. And when it was 100-degree heat out, they wouldn't talk to me.
Because you were late?
By 26 minutes, yep.
Now, as you might imagine, now her trust in that system is gone. A city spokesperson tells me most of the shelter staff have left the Northeast Portland site, but that the city's goal is that no one will return to the streets. And they're working with Multnomah County to get everyone into some sort of housing or transferred to other shelters. But let's talk numbers now. Since the site opened in 2023, 160 people have stayed there. 84 of them were chronically homeless, which means they have at least one disabling condition and have been on the streets for at least a year. Of the 160 people who stayed there, 26 went into permanent housing, 13 left for temporary housing, 45 went back into homelessness on the streets, 7 people went into shelter, another 7 went to what the city calls institutional settings, and less than 5 fell into the other category. Now, people like Michelle, who we heard from earlier, have been told they can also go to overnight shelters, although it's unclear where they would go during the day. The mayor does have plans to open 2 day centers by the end of the summer.
I just don't understand his thought process and how he thinks that the drop-in shelters are the answer when it's not even a band-aid for a solution. It's not even really a solution. It's just being homeless during the day.
We came here with high hopes, and we're leaving with broken promises, basically is what it boils down to.
We feel abandoned, I think, by the people that work here and the people in the city.